In this tutorial we're going to look at recording infrared macros, infrared push button codes and toggle codes. So first of all we will record a macro. A macro is a sequence of infrared codes. And in this example we will record a sequence of eject commands, but more typically it would be used for controlling the station on a television. You would record a series of program up or program down commands. So I will choose a button and record signal and record macro. And we're ready to record. We can test that HouseMate is receiving the signal by pressing the button on the infrared control. And then we press the HouseMate button, and then we press the buttons of the macro that we want to happen in sequence. In this case, just a series of eject commands. And now when we choose that button on the grid, it will transmit that macro. And it will transmit it until it's completed. However, if you transmit the macro from your switch, a second press of the switch will stop the macro. The macro is ideal for choosing a station on a television. You can record a series of infrared signals, TV guide, favorites, program up, program up, program up, program up, and so on. And when the user selects that option on their grid, it will transmit that macro and they will see the channel changing on the screen, and they will press their switch a second time to stop the macro. So let's record a push button code now. A push button code is typically used for a safety critical operation. The infrared signal is only transmitted when the switch is pressed, so the switch must be kept pressed while the signal has been transmitted. It would typically be used for example, a bed lift or an actuator. In this case, we're going to demonstrate it by recording a volume controlled infrared signal. So we will choose this button here and go to record signal and record push button code. And we simply record about 10 or 15 seconds of the volume up command. So there's a limit to how much you record, which is again a safety feature. So we press the switch and record a blast of volume up. Okay, and then we will do the same with the volume down button. Record signal, record push button code and volume down. Okay, so when we scan down to those buttons now, the signal is, when we release the switch, it will stop the signal. So the signal is only transmitted whilst the button is pressed. And that's different from a macro, which can be cancelled by a second switch press, but otherwise will transmit in completion. So it's transmitting the macro. If we press our switch a second time, it stops the transmission. So now we will record toggle signal. Some infrared transmitters transmit 2 signals for every second press of the button, particularly the on-off button on Philips remotes and other controls. And therefore it is necessary to record both copies of those signals in order for HouseMate to be able to reliably turn on and off the CD player. So if you have a button which you suspect is a toggle signal, and the way you will identify it is because when you record the button using the single code method, it will work once, but then it won't work a second time, then that's a clue that it's a toggle signal. So to record the toggle signal, we press on a button and choose record signal and then record toggle signal. And we hold the HouseMate button, record the first copy of the code, and then we do that a second time, and now we have recorded two copies of the code for on-off. When we press the button on HouseMate, it will turn it on and it will turn it off. So we know that it's operating, and we can see that it's operating correctly now. So that's those three types of infrared codes: macros, push button codes, and toggle codes.